Today we're checking out another excellent product from Royal Kludge, and this is the M87, another keyboard featuring a nice display, and I'm really happy that it's becoming a trend for all these keyboard makers implementing some kind of a display on the keyboard. So we're gonna dive deep into the details, we're gonna do the unboxing and everything else just like before. Hey guys, welcome back to our Harvest's channel. My name is Ivan, and today we're looking at the Royal Kludge RK M87, and this is another offering that I really wanted to check out, and I'm so glad that Royal Kludge actually reached out to me with these two keyboards, the N80 you guys saw recently, and now the M87, so I can review them for you guys and tell you what is exciting about this model. First out of the way is the price. This is another keyboard that it's retailing for $99, but they're running promotions all the time, and if you go to Amazon, you're gonna see it for $30 less, so for $70. I can tell you right away, spoiler alert, this is an awesome keyboard to have. Now, in addition, you can get 10% off using my promo code Hardware and Sense. So if you go to their website, or whatever price is for this particular keyboard or any of the other ones, if you put Hardware Sense as a promo code, you're gonna get a 10% off additionally from that keyboard. And I think for that price, it's absolutely amazing to get this one. So without further ado, we're gonna dive straight into the unboxing. We're gonna check out all the contents. And at the end, as always, we're gonna talk about in conclusion what I think about this M87 keyboard and would I prefer this one or the N80. Quickly looking at the contents of the RK M87 classic Royal Kludge box. Orange and black combination. They keep it uniform around all their line. Not a lot of information back and forward, just a little bit about the company. We have a sticker right here for the genuine product, and let's open it up and see. Right on top we have the same printed in English, large letters and all that stuff. Beautiful user manual. We're gonna check out this in a second. Right underneath is the keyboard with that nice dust cover. Love seeing this, and I'm glad pretty much every company nowadays is providing these dust covers. And on the back side we have a combo keycap extraction tool and keys extraction tool. We have 4 extra keys plus that plastic prying tool. And we have the cable, which is the same white USB-C to USB-A plus USB-C combo cable. Again, very nice to see these cables included. Now, immediately I'm gonna tell you, this cable is stiff, just like the one I've seen before. Not a huge fan of that, and is 6 feet long. My main problem with this is I've mentioned it many times before, softer cables are better to route around your desk and create less resistance, and braided cables are nicer. So this one is neither. Luckily detachable, so you can replace it whatever you want. Now onto the keyboard. Right on top, dust cover, beautiful, mentioned it. It's great to have when you're done typing, when you're done working, when you're done playing. Throw it over, protects it from the dust, crumbs, any other things you might have on your desk. Now this is a beautiful team color keyboard right here, and I have not seen or have any of these kind of team. You will see we have sort of a deeper purple with lighter purple, gray and white base. Interesting combination, very unique. I like it. And let's go around the keyboard real quick before we look at the keys. Right on top is USB-C, where we're gonna plug our cable for charging or connection to the computer. Another USB-A, this is the hub, beautiful. The previous model you guys seen had USB-C here, and I was thinking it would have been so much better if it was USB-A, because a lot of peripherals are just USB-A. I can just plug in my thumb drive or something else right here, no problem. And right next to it is branded RK receiver for the wireless function, magnetized, so you're not going to be able to lose it no matter how much you shake the keyboard. It's going to stay there. Nothing on the right side, nothing on the left side, and if we flip it on the bottom, we're gonna see the same nice, sticky, long rubber legs and 2-stage extension back legs when we have the higher one. Again, rubber, and we have the lower one, rubber. Excellent to see. Some information about the model here on the bottom, and that's pretty much it. Now, here's the keyboard, and immediately the things that strike me is media keys right on top. How great is this to have dedicated media keys? I'm sure those of you that listen to music and stuff like that, podcasts maybe, you're gonna appreciate that, because you can directly press these and do the media instead of doing some key combinations here with the keyboard. We have two knobs. We're gonna check these out, and obviously the most interested I am is about this screen. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but hopefully soon we're gonna see more and more bigger screens getting implemented in these keyboards. In addition, this kind of a size keyboard probably is ideal for me if I have only one keyboard on my desk, because you have dedicated home, pause, delete, all these keys are dedicated here. They're not combination, they're not cramped over to the side. And we have the arrow keys separated as well. And you can see RK Studio. So let's turn it on. And how we do it? By pressing and holding this power button on the corner, and now immediately you're going to see the RGB and everything else. And here is the screen. I'm going to get slightly closer so you can see the screen. Time is not correct, but the date is correct and the battery indicator is correct. So let's see over here. So the far right knob, which again is metal, very nice touch by the company. This is the one you are adjusting the volume, and you see that the volume increases and decreases right here. And if you press it down, it's muting. Press unmute. So here's the volume. And now the one that is on the left, this is the one that's going to control the different menus here, and we're going to go through them real quick, just like we did last time. We have Bluetooth 1, Bluetooth 2, we have Bluetooth 3, wireless mode, and USB mode, which is the wired. Home, let's press on that. We can correct the time. GIF, we can add our own GIF, and we can go back. Right here on the next one is time setting. This is the correct one. So if I go here, let's see, right now is I think 11:22. And we're good. Time is correct now. So going back to the menus, time setting, system. If we go to system, Windows or Mac, we can make our selection here. And obviously I'm gonna leave it to Windows. And now we're gonna go to the effects. I'm gonna run through these real quick. Default one is Effect 11. And if you've seen my previous review of the N80, you're gonna know that you can just easily scroll through the different effects. They have their numbers, and that way you can select the one you want and you like the most. And just like the other one, we have 18 plus off. And of course we have the custom one, which by default lights up the arrow keys and WS and D for gaming. Like that option by default. So if we go back to the 11 and scroll down, you're gonna see the other ones. All the same beautiful RGB effects. And of course we have the unified color. You can cycle through the unified color as well, which is my preferred method because it matches the internals of my computer. If I go back to the default 11, now we're gonna go back and color. If we go to color, these are the unified colors I was talking about. We have the RGB by default, and then we have red, green, blue, yellow, purple, light blue, or cyan, and white. So these are the colors. I like that option, and we can go back to RGB. Here we have the brightness, 100%, increments of 20% all the way to 0, and back to 100%. And then the speed of the effects from 20% all the way to 100. We're gonna leave it by default on 20 again. And language, we have Chinese and English, going to English. And if we go back here, return to the beginning. So exactly the same menu we saw the N80. The screen may be slightly smaller because the one, if you remember, the N80 was implemented in the knob, which was a little bit larger. Maybe it's just a placebo effect I'm experiencing, but still very easy to read numbers, very easy to read everything about this screen. And I love this option. Maybe next time or in the future, we're gonna see screens that are full length, that implement a lot more information. But as a beginning, this is great. And I love the separation here between these two buttons because this gives you immediately the volume. You don't have to scroll through anything like this. Obviously, we have key combinations here for a lot of other things, volumes, media, even calculator here. I see home, email, all that stuff is also available. And right here for the light and screen, if you don't want to use these, but why not? Because this is absolutely amazing. I would love to use these. And obviously the dedicated media keys are great. So yeah, just like before, this is another excellent product so far I can see from Royal Kludge. And I'm super excited to see what they're gonna come up with in the future. let's go ahead and talk about it in the conclusion. All right, conclusion time. And what do I think about the M87? You guys see during the unboxing, you saw some of the features that I showed you. And honestly, whatever Royal Kludge are doing with their latest peripherals, I'm extremely happy to see the direction that they're going, with all high quality components, with metal knobs, with implementation of LCD screens, and a lot of customizations that you can do straight from the knobs, the inclusion of USB hub. Now on that note, I just want to advise you that I tested the speed of the USB hub on this keyboard, and it's not up to the speed that I was expecting. It's definitely not USB 3 speeds, but we're talking about USB 2.0. So in reality, yes, it's serviceable. You can plug other peripherals. You can plug even a thumb drives in there, but the data transfer is not going to be the fastest. Just FYI, I don't want to deceive you on that one, but just the inclusion of it, it's a huge plus for me. Obviously, we have all the three connectivity here: Bluetooth, wireless, and wired. Wired is my preferred one, and I've mentioned that many times before for latency purposes. And of course, when I'm gaming, I don't want to be worried about, is the battery going to be enough? What if it's dying and I'm in the middle of gaming session? Yeah, obviously, if you're serious about gaming, again, I'm not that serious, but if you are a gamer, you wanna be using the cable. And speaking of the cable, not the best cable out there. I mentioned it before. Maybe in the future, Royal Kludge will come up with something softer and more pliable that you can be routing around your desk easily without any restrictions, any pullbacks, or knocking around stuff that you might have on your desk. Anyway, this is the only two minor negatives on my side. The rest of it is amazing. Love the LCD screen, all the customizations. Now we have two knobs. One is dedicated directly into the volume. Incredible. Love the ease of use. You just reach out, grab the knob, and just adjust your volume or mute. And the other one used for the rest of the customizations. You remember on the N80 was all-in-one knob, including the display was integrated in there. So it becomes a little more complicated if you wanna do the adjustments, or maybe you wanna do the volume adjustment, where with this one, it's a little bit easier, a little more options. Of course, we have a lot more dedicated buttons on this keyboard. That's why it might be a good middle ground for those that don't want a full keyboard and those that don't want a completely compact keyboard like myself. I have three computers with three different keyboards on my desk, so the smallest definitely works for me because of the space. But if you have only one, maybe this is a good option because you have the dedicated side buttons with delete, page up, page down, and so on and so forth. Dedicated media buttons right on top. So if you're big on music, if you're big on media consumption, this is going to help you a lot just to straight up navigate this. And this is something I haven't seen quite some time. Back in the day, early days, those membrane huge keyboards had a lot of dedicated media buttons, but now it's back here with this mechanical keyboard, and I absolutely love it. The keys inside are what Royal Kludge are calling the cream switch, and you saw the color. It's kind of beige to pink. Interesting. What I can say is they remind me of the brown switch because they have the same, almost the same exact tactile feedback and slightly more noise than the red switch keys. So let's get close to the microphone. Maybe you guys can get an impression how they sound. Again, this is very subjective because different people hear different noises, and at the same time, the force you're applying on the keys and hitting the keys is different between different people. But maybe this can give you some good impression what you expect from these keys. Personally, I think they're slightly more louder than my personal favorite red switches, but I'm willing to give them a test, and so far they sound pretty good. Just like the N80, we have the same amount of battery built in here. We have the same functionality when it comes to Bluetooth and wireless. So you have a long time with the built-in battery. Obviously, if you turn off the RGB and all the lights, you're gonna extend that life for even longer. So those of you that prefer a wireless or Bluetooth, or maybe you're don't like cable clutter, maybe you have a media center, you're gonna be able to enjoy the keyboard for at least 30 to 45 days, depending on your usage. So just like the other products, they have their own software you can download from the website, the way you can upload different GIFs over here for the LCD screen. You can do some customizations for the RGB and stuff like that. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of that just because I don't like any other software being installed on my computer. I try to keep it as clean as possible, and whatever is built into the keyboard, I appreciate and love the way it is. So I don't see any problems, or I don't see the need for me to customize anything with this keyboard. I think this is another very good product from Royal Kludge, and I'm not just saying it because they send it to me to review. You guys know me. If I don't like something about the product, I'll tell you right away, just like I told you about the cable. And if there's any other negatives, I'll tell you as well. But I think at the price right now, $70, this keyboard is absolute killer. And you're gonna have to make the decision between the N80 or this one if you want to, because basically it comes down to if you want a small footprint, smaller keyboard, or you like something bigger like this with more dedicated buttons, with 2 knobs, same functionality of the LCD screen, but at the same time, maybe a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier. That's up to you. What kind of space do you have on your desk? And do you want to save more space, or you prefer more functionality? So long story short, I really like this keyboard. Huge thank you to Royal Kludge for sending it. So don't forget to use my Hardware Sense promo code for 10% extra. As always, guys, hit the thumbs up if you like the video, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe if you're new, check out the link in the description below if you want to support the channel directly. It helps me tremendously bringing products like this to you guys so you can see and make a educated decision of what you would like to spend your money on and how to channel your budget when you try to build a computer. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Till next time, guys, you have a wonderful day.